jam jam, I chiki chiki bamba, I chiki chiki jam jam, I chiki chiki bamba, love chiki 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 bamba, I chiki chiki bamba, I chiki chiki jam jam, I chiki chiki bamba, love chiki chiki. Everyone has times they're done, frustrated and just longing for a bit of fun. So drink up your tequila with a flash, just down it all until it reveals up. Dream just like Pandora's box. If your heart is unlocked, get lost in all the hopeful party people. Unless you climb to the top of the Mount Fuji inside your mind, the showdown of the weekend will elude your eyes. Chance, chance, I chiki chiki bam bam. Without a care in the world, enjoy the fever tonight. Chance, chance, I chiki chiki bam bam. Lose all your pain to the high, enjoy the party tonight. Chance, chance, I chiki chiki bam bam. The more you let go in this fleeting world, the greater the high. Chance, chance, love chiki chiki bam bam. 'Cause we're all superstars and we're making divas tonight.
I am frazzled and flustered and oh my god. Listen, I originally planned to do this week. I was gonna like go through and review everything in the series and make like a recap video and get all excited on the day of the finale. And then listen, Google betrayed me. I was told that it was gonna end on June 21st, and then I was like, oh, okay. Well, if it's ending on June 21st, I'll do it next week! So I prepared shit all. And then I woke up and it's like, it's over, what? So, that was, I did not watch the Final Fantasy stream. I woke up, watched this, and prepared this stream for like 2 hours. Oh my god, it's been a day. It's been a day. But there's a lot that I really, really liked in Paripi Koumei. And enough that to talk about it all would honestly require like a whole stream. But I lost a lot of time if I want to be ready in time for the collab, so I'm gonna have to like speed through some of this. But I wanted to talk about like the show as well as its marketing. What led the show to be a success is very unique and fun, and a lot of it actually plays into some strategies, just like the ones Kongming would use. I probably pronounced that like shit, but here's the thing. I only heard the Koumei pronunciation the whole time. I tried Googling it, but every video was different, so I have to guess. I'm trying. I actually strongly disagree, Epic Ninja Zero. Kaguya has been the last few episodes have been redeeming it, but I am gonna argue Kaguya-sama season 2 went downhill. Season 3 was downhill, but it started climbing up again with the Ishigami parts. I don't know what it was with Kaguya-sama. Season 1 was lovely, but then it just kind of eh. But this show did a really good job of like building at a good pace and ending. Hi, Shigo. I'm not going to be able to talk to chat quite as much just because I want to rush through and say a bunch of things about it. I didn't have time to prepare any images, so I pulled up a review for every single episode from the con artists. So, I wrote my own review. We're not going to be using their review, but we're going to be using their images. So basically, I want to go through and give a recap of the plot, a lot of the episodes, while also like adding things I liked about them, some things I didn't like about them, or what I thought made the show unique. And then at the end, I want to talk a bit about the music and the marketing and some cool stuff like that. Yeah. But for now, let me take a big chomp and then go right into it. Today's not sponsor is apples. Okay, let's go. So first of all, on the surface, this might look like your average music anime. Or like, because Eiko's young and cute, it might look like your average idol anime. But let me assure you, this is not your average music anime. First of all, here's a good example of it. Eiko lives in a tiny, cramped, small, realistic Japanese apartment. It's absolutely crammed to the ceiling with stuff because there is no space. It's a very small room. Like, even her kitchen and stuff is really, really small. It is very much what someone who moves to Tokyo on their own wanting to become a performer is probably going to be stuck living with. That's just the way it is. You're not going to be able to live with a mansion or whatever. Like, it's just not reality. And I liked that right from the start, they were acknowledging that she was making a lot of sacrifices to try for her career. And also, because of these sacrifices, you see things like her clearly struggling, working at a bar. She's not just sitting on her butt trying to, like, I want to be a musician, Kia! But, like, you see, she's living on a realistic person's salary because she works overnight at the bar, and they are lucky enough to let her perform. So she's able to use the bar to kind of earn some income as well as get a bit of exposure, but she's been failing auditions. And you know that's very realistic. Because even the most famous talents, even the best people out there, have gone through a series of failures before they reach before they reach any success. They would go through a series of failures. And a lot of the idol anime often give this really unrealistic expectation that through the sheer power of friendship and hope and love, you can magically, I know this one does to an extent as well, but they also show the realistic side a bit more instead of just, you can be whatever you want. It's not that simple. And I like how this one acknowledged the fact that she has been failing auditions. She's almost ready to give up. She's been having a hard time. In fact, right when Kongming shows up, she actually mentions in the show that she was thinking of calling it quits. And he manages to give her a bit of a second wind. Because, like, that is the reality as a musician. There's no guarantee. You could fail. Even if you try your best forever, you might never make it, no matter how talented you are. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try if it's your dream. But it is that hard where sometimes musicians, they have to reach a point where they make that call. They're like, okay, I gave it my best. I'm proud of myself. I tried, but I can't do it. Like, it doesn't mean you never could, but there's never a guarantee. It's entirely possible you could waste your whole life trying. And I really like how they didn't shy away from that. Exactly, she goes on about as realistic a journey as someone with a Three Kingdoms tactician by their side can go through. Yeah. She does feel very realistic, and that's why she's hands down best girl to me. But yeah, that aside, let's go back to explaining it a little bit. So after his supposed, quote, death, Kongming wakes up in Shibuya on Halloween, convinced that this is hell. Is dragged about by people in costumes, and he goes down to different bars and parties where he meets Eiko, where she's performing at one of these bars at a Halloween party. He's immediately taken in by her music and convinced that world peace can be achieved through helping her reach the greatest heights as a musician. Kind of like by uniting all the people through her music. I also just, I'm gonna admit, I really liked her Oni costume, so I was sucked into the series as soon as I saw this Halloween costume, which I was like, yeah. But then the show just got even better because it's so full of heart, but I really liked her Halloween costume. And after he hears her perform, he's blown away. He's immediately taken by her music and is convinced, as I mentioned, that like the most important thing that he needs to do is kind of bring her to the best heights. Yeah, the art's really nice in it too. You have some fun reverse isekai time travel nonsense, like him learning about social media and phones, which is really funny. And eventually he convinces Eiko to let him become her tactician. And I just think it's so awkward and cute when he's learning about phones and shit. He also gets a job helping out at the bar as well because he's such a fast learner. He makes a really good barista, which I thought was pretty cool. I guess not barista, more like a bartender, but it's kind of like a combo of both, I guess. I don't know. And it's just really fun. And it's a fun mix of comedy and surprisingly well planned out schemes that, like, a lot of the subreddits and posts that I saw looking it up, because I was curious, as someone who's never really been into Three Kingdoms, apparently it does a really good job of like representing the real Kongming through like a lot of his antics and a lot of his schemes. Like, apparently people that went into this ready to trash it, being like, you can't do that to my man, have actually really enjoyed the series because it does him a lot of justice despite the absurdity of it. It's pretty cool. And a number of the strategies actually also parody real strategies from Three Kingdoms, so I thought that was really cool. But that aside, let's move on to episode 2 a bit. I don't have an image over here just because they didn't have one, but... So, episode 2 is the first example of one of his schemes. When Eiko is granted the opportunity to perform at a huge music event, it's kind of a double-edged sword maybe is the right word, because she's put on a big stage. But she's put on a big stage at the same time, rivaling the event's biggest draw, a singer named Mia. And it appears that Mia's giving her this opportunity, but Mia actually set her up for failure. Because it later turns out that Mia has become big because she manipulated the competition so that, like, the competition at the same time as her and stuff is always smaller or new talent, allowing her to shine even brighter at the cost of crushing the confidence of newcomers. Although, Kongming uses this arrogance against her. So it ended up being in her own detriment. Praise out, thanks for confirming. Yeah, as a big fan of Three Kingdoms, he's very accurate to the man. Yeah, that's what I seem to read a lot. And it's been really cool that they were able to do that in such a weird show. It's just really, really neat. And it might get more people interested in history as well, which is pretty cool. It later turns out that this artist had become big because they had oh, I already read that part. I wrote down so much so that I could remember what I was saying because I'm so frazzled. Okay. Using the arrogance against her, assuming that she's in the clear entirely, he sets up a trap where audience members walk in, but become confused on the layout of the floor once they enter, because it's changed around from the inside. So they end up not immediately knowing how to exit, although like it's set up where they could exit if they really looked for it, but they end up becoming entranced by Eiko's performing. And then they end up staying to listen to her instead. So they actually abandon Mia, and her strategy to get everyone to ignore Eiko and make her look even better completely backfired when everyone abandoned her to go listen to Eiko. It's pretty cool. So that first episode was what showed it wasn't just a fun comedy, or second episode I guess, but also a show where you can enjoy watching Kongming's schemes play out. You never really know what's gonna happen, you just know that he has something up his sleeve. And it's really satisfying watching it, not knowing where it's going, but knowing that it will end up exactly where he wants, somehow. And I thought that was really fascinating to watch. And then you have episode 3. So, moving forwards, a similar strategy is employed when Eiko performs at her first music festival. At first, it looks like her luck ran out, since she's put on a minimal visibility stage close to one of the festival's biggest draws, similar to the issue that was in the previous one. Yeah, the artificial fog also made it harder to see around the floor, that is true. And artificial fog will help you stand out on stage and make it seem more intense, so it also just aesthetically was better. So when she's on that small stage near one of the festival's biggest draws, they're actually able to manipulate the audience and steal the show once again, winning the opportunity to compete in a social media race where the first person to receive 100,000 likes on a social media post will be granted the rights to perform at an exclusive and huge music festival, Summer Sonia, which is where the main plot of the show begins to pick up as the gang strategizes and works towards securing Eiko's place in the festival. However, in addition to the plot picking up here, it's also the first episode where we get a bit more of a glance at like the real Kongming and his past and stuff, especially his dark past, because we see that he isn't perfect, he lives with many regrets, he knows that a lot of people have died or not been treated as well as they could have because of him, and he knows that. He's not pretending it's not true. Like, you see him wondering if he could have made the lives more bearable for his own soldiers, and you kind of wonder if that's where some of his kindness towards Eiko comes from. If he's like, I'm gonna do better this time, I'm gonna be a better person. And there's a lot of characterization in this episode that really helps make him feel another, like, he's not just some omnipotent god in the show that knows everything and manages to make it perfect. Like, he also has his doubts sometimes. And he's doing his best, but at the end of the day, he's still human. And yeah, his taste in glasses, impeccable. It really helps humanize him and make him a lot more of a more interesting and sympathetic character instead of just, wow, this guy's perfect. Which is not necessarily a problem for this show, but it's also nice just getting to see these other more human sides of him. And I thought that was pretty cool. And you also see him being a little ruthless, where he's like, well, if the enemy hadn't decided to be nice to us, I could have Exhibit A. But, yeah. So you see a little more about the true him. And going on with episode 4, that's where the actual contest arc kind of begins, because you're introduced to this guy. Whoop-aha! Thank you! Yeah, he does his best and accepts the consequences. Exactly, which is important. Oh yeah, moving up in the world, I think. Thank you for 5 months! You get this guy, which is the one that actually gives her the opportunity. That's in episode 4. In order to expand the scope of her music and gain traction, Kongming begins scouting for a rapper to participate in her next song. Because ultimately, no matter how talented any vocalist is, sometimes an unexpected outside factor can really help push them to be noticed and reached by a wider audience. This episode, though, there's an interesting rift that begins building between Kongming and Eiko, because instead of informing her of his actions and his intent, he kind of just takes off and disappears for like days on end to go partying in Roppongi, which is known as like a lot of foreigners in Tokyo actually go to Roppongi and go to like nightclubs and bars. It's largely one of the party districts where it has a bit of a bad rap, but it's probably one of the more high class of the party districts. So every time she sees him, he's just like running around with random people, getting drunk, or like hanging out and partying, and she's like, what the fuck, man? And the way she handles it, I thought was fascinating, and really make me love her a lot more as a character. So this is also when we actually get to see Eiko shine on her own. Because she proves that instead of being an incapable pushover, just crying and waiting for him to solve everything, she actually doesn't waste time. And she starts writing a new song and doing her own hard work. She's like, no. I'm not gonna just sit here. I can't count on this man. Like, maybe he can help me, but I can't depend on him. What if he fails? I need to be prepared on my own. And I really like that it shows she's not simply letting him carry her to success, but she's taking an active part in her own success by working actively towards her goal instead of sitting on her butt. She is not an accessory in this plot, nor is she an idol that blindly does everything that's asked of her, because she's questioned things a few times. She's a musician who knows what she wants and will actively reach for it, and knows that it will require a lot of hard work, and she's willing to put in that hard work. And I think that's what really separates her from a lot of other idol or music anime to me, because you see them being like, oh yeah, it's going to be hard work, and then they'll like do the hard work, but it's often, I don't know if it's just that it's played out in tropes, or if it's just played out weirdly, or if they're like, we'll work hard together, but then you only see them having fun. I liked that it showed that she was uncertain, but she was still doing her best to push through. She wasn't just sitting on her butt because she was nervous. She like doubled down. And I thought that was pretty badass. Yeah, you get to see her writing her song at home. She's like, I'm not just going to wait. But one of the favorite parts of the series for me is at the end of the episode, she does voice her frustration a bit with him, which is honestly one of the most wholesome parts in the series for me, because it really solidified the two as my favorite duo of the season, personally. They have a really unique dynamic, and it's one of the most unique male-female anime duos I've probably seen in years, and it's really fun to watch the chemistry that they have between them. And like, I don't mean romantic chemistry, because as much as like, I will ship anyone and everything that moves. I actually really like, a bit of a spoiler for the end, but I really like that, at least so far, it's not a romantic thing between these two. They're two professionals that have a lot of respect for each other. And they're like close friends, almost a family. I want more of this in anime. Like, I want more male-female duos that just like, not always romance, but some more like this. I really loved it. It was fresh. It was fresh. Especially their dynamic was really fresh. I just really enjoyed that about them. A somewhat literal general tactician relationship. But it was really fun. Especially where she's like this cute upcoming idol. You would expect her to end up with him at the end, because that's how these things always go. And it didn't. And I was so happy that it didn't. I was worried the whole time. I don't know if I'd be too hurt if it did though, because honestly I can like kind of see it, but I'm much happier that it didn't go there. I think it's much more unique and fun that it didn't go that way. And yeah, it's really cool that it shows how much they care for each other without crossing those lines. I love it. I want more. Also, I just really, as you guys mentioned, I just really like, I don't think there's an image of it here. Oh yeah, there's another one! I love his stupid glasses. I was scrolling through the images and that's what reminded me to write about that again. I love his stupid glasses. They make my life, especially this pair that he got at Don Quixote, because as someone who's been to Don Quixote tons of times, you can totally buy stupid shit like this. I would be the person buying stupid shit like this. So it just made me really happy seeing him get the stupid Don Quixote glasses. Especially, I think he genuinely thought they were cool. Like, his idea of cool is often just so wrong. And it makes me laugh really hard. I love him so much. But going into episode 5, the tone gets a little bit darker. And honestly, the arc starting at episode 5 is my favorite in the show. With episode 5, we welcome in Kabe Taijin. It's revealed that Kongming's party has actually led him to finally locate Kabe Taijin. So all of his partying was actually to find this guy, a skilled and accomplished rapper, who disappeared from the crowd and withdrew into himself after suffering a horrible panic attack on stage and even developing a stomach ulcer from the stress. Having dealt with an awful period of imposter syndrome, feeling like he didn't deserve his success, Kabe Taijin passed out on stage and ever since suffers horrible anxiety, even thinking about rap. Even, like as I mentioned, he even developed a stomach ulcer from stress. And even though his heart really wants to go back, and he'll even, under his breath, often mutter little raps, he can't. There's a mental block where he cannot go back to rapping. I need a drink, I've been screaming. Oh my god. Hold on. I'm really excited about this part because I really liked how they handled the Kabe Taijin arc. Okay. So this show does not shy away from showing Kabe Taijin's mental state. It really goes deep into the mental health struggles of performers. This is not an uncommon thing. The thing is, maybe to the point of a stomach ulcer might not be so common, but the reality is a lot of performers suffer really badly from imposter syndrome, especially in competitions. Like, they'll work really hard and then get a big accomplishment and they have to like publicly celebrate or like do something for the big accomplishment and they break down. Because they're like, what am I doing here? I'm not good enough. What the fuck? How did I get here? I'm a failure. Everyone thinks I'm good, but I'm a failure. Oh my god, I have been there. I came out about it and was a bit honest, but I took a week off last year. Yeah, it's been around a year since I took a week off, and part of the reason I took that week off was actually because I was going through that. I was having really bad imposter syndrome to the point that like just going live on a stream was really hard. Sorry, I had to do that real quick. One sec. It's just like I could not handle going live. I was starting to panic. I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. And I just took some time away. Hold on one sec. And then I came back, you know, after working through some stuff, and I'm like, okay, I can do a little better now, it's fine. But it takes a while. It takes a while sometimes to get through that. And I like how they weren't shy to mention that, hey, yeah, this happens with performers. It's a thing. It's a thing. And that's okay. Like, it happens. And it's not easy. It's so much harder than people think. It's no joke. You can see by how much he really shows what he's going through. We see him distressed, alone at home, wishing he could go back, but feeling absolutely trapped in his own mind. it's quite relatably portrayed for anyone who suffers with anxiety or has had a bad episode of imposter syndrome. And it was painful to watch. But I think giving someone like this airtime in such a unique show was incredibly brave and really well done. And I'm happy that the show went there, because I think more performers need to see that they aren't alone in going through this. But anyway, it does come up from there, so don't worry. Koumei manages to eventually draw out Kabe Taijin and get him to enter a live rap competition against Koumei himself. Intimidating him into entering, he helps Kabe Taijin pick himself up once again and regain confidence. Though the condition was that Kabe Taijin told him the condition is that if Koumei won the rap battle, Kabe Taijin would actually join them. But what happens is that Kabe Taijin actually wins. But he decides to join Eiko of his own free will. And it turns out that that was actually Kongming's plan all along. Hard to bore you. His rap was so good. It turned out that his plan all along was that he wanted Kabe Taijin to win, so that Kabe Taijin would get his own confidence back. He wanted to be a stepping stone to help him get his confidence back. There's a lot of really cool imagery in the rap battle between them as well, and it was really neat. And because he gets his confidence back and is so inspired by Eiko's singing, out of his own free will, he decides to join them. And I thought that was a really nice plot twist. It could have gone very differently, but I liked it going that way. And of course, that turned out to be his real goal all along. And Koumei's rap is equal parts impressive as it is absurd. It's fun listening to the stylistic differences between his rap, which has more of a traditional flair in the instrumental and the cadence. Yeah, the 10-minute plus rap battle was insane. And his rap versus Kabe Taijin's rap, which is a bit more modern and rough around the edges, but full of heart. It's really cool seeing the contrast between the two. And also, yeah, as Josh mentioned, the rap battle's really long, with cool visuals, nice music. It's really fun to watch. I personally watched it on High Dive, so I can vouch for the translation there, but the subtitles were also really fun. Like, the timing and rhymes sometimes worked even in English. The translation was pretty fun. And episode 7 is where another big part of the plot starts to pick up. So episode 7 takes another turn where Kouming largely entrusts Kabe Taijin and Eiko to work hard on the music on their own ends, and they all kind of split up for a while. While he does some research and comes up with more plans, which is another example of him showing respect for his performers and trusting them. He trusts them with their own success. He just kind of gives them some pokes to help them get there. In an important step, Kouming introduces Eiko to a famous producer, who might be in the next episode, actually. I know he's here. A famous producer. And this producer is like, yeah, I'll work for her, but not right now. Only when she discovers her own unique voice, which at the time confuses and leaves Eiko heartbroken. She leaves the studio searching for herself and comes across a girl named Nanami, performing on the street illegally. And having a permit herself given to her by Kongming, of course, Eiko steps in, claims that Nanami is part of her group, one of her friends, and the two end up performing together and actually becoming really good friends. Their relationship is really wholesome and adorable. And the two share many similarities in terms of dreams and struggles. And as they become closer friends, we learn that Nanami is actually the vocalist of Azalea, which is Eiko's main rival, a popular band competing against Eiko for a place in Summer Sonia. Mind you, despite being rivals, these two never have any of that typical, like, you're my enemy, rival, not like bullshit vibes. They're good friends and they cheer for each other's success. I really like it. And also, talking about Nanami a bit more. Where's a good image for it? Probably this one. Okay. One sec, I'm gonna move the image over a little bit so you can see it a bit better. Okay. Nanami is probably one of the most tragic characters in the entire show, to be honest. As we learn about her backstory, we start to see how different things could have gone for Eiko if she had not met Kongming but had met someone else who promised her, quote, success. In order to maximize on profit and attention, it's revealed that Azalea, which was once a passion project of 3 high school girls, was... Thank you, Colson, for the follow! was pushed to fit the music industry business mold, shaping the girls in ways that made them visibly uncomfortable, including performing music they did not enjoy, wearing revealing costumes they were not comfortable wearing, and performing live for big crowds while doing these two things. Like, they specialized in playing instruments, but you slowly see them start to lip sync or not even have instruments with them anymore, just dancing like typical idols with masks on, not even able to show their faces. And, like, this is something that really happens to a lot of musicians. This was portrayed really painfully and really well. Like, I'm gonna admit, as much as their outfits are hot, you do not look at this scene in the show and think, whoa, fan service. You watch this scene in the show and your heart hurts for them. Like, it made me feel sick watching this part. And that's what it's supposed to do. Would I cosplay that outfit? Fuck yeah. I personally think it's pretty cool. But the thing is, they do not like them, and they make it very clear in the way the show handles it that they do not like the direction that this is going, but they feel like it's the only way they can obtain success. And it's really heartbreaking. And unfortunately, once they start going in front of the larger crowds, doing these things that make them uncomfortable, they start getting more fans. They start getting more views. Because the producer was right. This shallow form of music was cultivated towards trends, and their popularity grew rapidly at the cost of their passion and integrity. But with that harsh truth, that music is a business, and sometimes you do have to sacrifice your soul to make it, or you won't be able to go pro if you don't. So sometimes you have to weigh those choices. What means more to you? Doing the stuff you're passionate about or going pro? Not everyone is able to do both. You might be faced with the decision where you have to choose one or the other. And that's where you see the contrast between Eiko and Nanami, someone who is lucky enough to find someone who wants to promote them as they are, and someone who sees potential but wants to mold it into their own shape. And the contrast between these two artists is really a fascinating look at the industry from an inside perspective that I really liked seeing in the show. As much as it's heartbreaking, it's not something you see very often. Like, the closest example to this would be Perfect Blue, but that goes a little more intense. And the most painful part of the whole situation is, more than anyone, you can see how much Nanami herself is aware of the situation she's been placed in, and how far she's compromised on her values, to the point that she's become almost numb as a person in order to bury her pain, which she tries to hide for the sake of her friend's success. The only time she feels truly alive is performing on the streets with Eiko, and she even admits this. After being caught by her management, however, Nanami is forced to quit performing with Eiko, but not before Eiko performs a heartfelt a cappella performance for her as a live farewell. This also helps Eiko find not only her true voice that she wants to sing with, but find a name for her song, as Eiko is propelled by her dreams and is heartbroken at the realization of what Nanami has been through. The two ultimately part ways in episode 9 and follow the strategies of their respective strategists towards securing their 100,000 likes to secure their place at Summer Sonia. And then we get into the final arc of the series. So that brings us to the final arc with less than a week to go before the show. And for the end of the 100 likes competition, the three begin preparations to secure on their own ends. Eiko finishes her single, Kabe Taijin wins a showdown against his long-term rival, Sakitoba Kung Fu, and this time is able to acknowledge his success, and that he earned it himself through his own talent and hard work, which is huge for him! I was so happy! It's really heartwarming to see Kabe Taijin's character development. I love him, I want to give him so many hugs. Exactly, there's a certain point at which people have that aspirations will face a harsh reality of how things work. Then a choice appears, continue doing it or not. Sometimes a third option isn't available. Sometimes you can find a third option where you can enjoy it and keep doing it, but sometimes you can't. And that is the reality. I went through something similar as well, Alejandro, so I understand. An interesting section as well was Kongming's flashback when Eiko started performing. you can't really comment. I can't really comment on the accuracy, right? Don't know much about Three Kingdoms, but it is interesting in terms of character development for him. The scene is short but really powerful. It's also pretty heartwarming to see how proud he is of Eiko's hard work and how he thrives, not in knowing that he helped her get there, but just knowing that she got there. He's so proud of her. It's so adorable. And as has always been shown, the hard work was still done by Eiko. She still did all the hard work herself. He just nudged her in the right direction. And then the final arc. We have, look at him, the bags under his eyes are gone. I'm so proud of my boy. I'm so proud of my boy. Compare. Look at this Kabe Taijin. This is pre-character development. Kabe Taijin. Look at my boy. My boy had the biggest glow up ever. Kabe Taijin. He might be my favorite character in the show. I fucking love Kabe Taijin. I love him. Anyway, let's find an image for this one. That's probably fine. Yeah, that's a pretty good one actually because of the text. Okay, so with episode 11, the final showdown begins. Upon hearing Azalea's plan to host a concert in front of Shibuya 109 at a mystery location, quite literally buying likes and winning the contest by promising money to lucky winners who scan a QR code and like their post, Kongming jumps into action to make sure Eiko receives the likes first, if they're buying them anyway. Once they hear the location, the team shows up first in front of 109 with their own QR code, where Eiko sneakily performs an Azalea song to throw off the audience as she's obscured by the lights on the stage and fog. With a strategy mirroring an incident where Kongming used enemies' arrows against them by attracting them to attack diversion boats, with no people on board and just stealing the arrows, their lives skyrocket using the enemy strategy against them. It almost works, until the real Azalea shows up and begins to sing, confusing the audience. However, this is where Kabe Taijin's rap really shines. He calls out Azalea for their shallow success and eggs them on to reveal their true selves and ditch the forms they were forced to put on. After his rap, despite cheers from the audience, Eiko also performs her new original song and wins the hearts of everyone at the venue, and securing her 100,000 likes before Azalea. The last one being submitted by the very producer that made her song, and I thought that was so fucking wholesome and cute. Nanami and the other girls in Azalea are so moved by her performance that they themselves throw away their masks, ditch them, pick up their instruments that they haven't been allowed to actually play, and perform the type of music they always wanted to perform. Even if it may not be mainstream, they decided, you know what? Fuck this. Jesse, thank you for the follow. They decide they value what they want to do over success just for the sake of it. And though the music may get less attention, their hearts really shone through, and they won the admiration of the many fans that were still there. And they do end up getting 100,000 likes as well, even though they already lost. But this does not have no meaning, because these likes are ones that they feel like are genuine likes. It's not just people clapping and cheering for things that they were forced to do that they don't even enjoy. It's people enjoying and liking their true selves and what they want to do. That is so much more rewarding. Like the stuff they wanted to do all along. It's like people actually like us for who we are, not this like thing that's been put on us. And that was incredibly heartwarming to watch after seeing all of the struggles from Nanami's point of view. And if you haven't seen the final episode, I am so sorry. I don't know why you clicked this. But if you have seen it, I'm sure you agree that that was a really, really satisfying scene to watch. It really made me happy. And with that, the episode wraps up everything quite nicely. The other thing is they even convinced the producer that forced them to put this weird persona on to work with them and promote their genuine selves. And it's shown that he only was so strict with them because he actually used to be a musician who failed because he didn't chase trends and he wanted to help them succeed. He genuinely did care about them. He was just being harsh because of what he'd been through. But sometimes being harsh on someone because what you've been through does not necessarily mean it's what they'll go through. So in the end, he kind of has a bit of a redemption arc as well, and he agrees to work with them. again and try from this new perspective. And I thought that was a nice change of direction. But yeah, it wrapped up really nicely, making an ending that satisfies all the viewers. If there ends up being no season 2, it's like, you know what? This isn't a bad ending. It's pretty good. But if there is a season 2, it leaves everything very open. One sec. Oh, one second. Sorry, I'm just talking to Akka. I was gonna end, but she might actually have to delay the collab a tiny bit more, so I might be able to scream a little while longer. We'll see. I'm just checking in on her to make sure everything is good so that I can be ready as soon as she needs me. And if you're here, I got you. Don't worry, I got you. TGM, thank you for the 50 super preach. I'm sorry that I just screamed about this show for almost an hour. You guys don't understand how much I fucking love this show. I've been waiting for it to finish so that I could go off for like an hour about every little detail in this show that I really, really loved. You are here, hello! Don't worry. However long you need to set up, go for it. Just send me a message whenever you're ready or let me know here. I can scream about this show forever. However long you need, I got you. If you got the bot, I got you. If you got the bot, I got you. I don't want to check it. I don't want to get the bot right now. If you or Josh can get the bot, that would be lovely. I want to keep talking about Paripi Koumei. But yeah, because of its realistic portrayal of so many different aspects of the entertainment industry, while still somehow making it really funny and lighthearted, despite touching so many serious topics, I just thought it was an incredibly well done show that deserves a lot more attention than it got. It got a lot of attention though. I actually wanted to talk about that. A unique aspect of marketing with the show was actually, hold on, let me hide that for 1 sec. The marketing in this show was absolute genius. Absolute genius. And I want to talk a bit about it. Hold on. So, the marketing was not all done beforehand with this show. It was very much ongoing. It was very, very much ongoing. Okay. So this is the Avex YouTube page, which is the they're the company that made Paripi Koumei and promoted it mostly. But here's the thing. They didn't promote it right away. They very slowly kept promoting it all season. So what first made this show absolutely blow up, I'm not gonna show on stream because of copyright, but I'm sure you guys all know. The opening. The opening to this song went absolutely viral. Like, it completely blew up the internet briefly. But it was interesting. It didn't go viral at the very beginning of the season. It, like, slowly grew traction after a few episodes were out. And then started just growing and growing and growing and getting more and more traction. It was kind of incredible to watch, actually. Some of the videos have, like, tens of millions of views. And I did a cover of it, and it's even the second most viewed video on my channel. This show, there's so much power in this show. It went nuts. And because of the opening, it almost feels like the opening was one of Kongming's strategies. Getting the opening to go viral on Reddit. And then, when the opening went viral, I'm gonna go get another thing. When the opening went viral on Reddit, it ended up blowing up everywhere. Like, very slowly. Until mid-season, suddenly everyone had heard of the show. Like, literally everyone had heard of the show. It was really fascinating. Let me see if I can find... Yeah, it's one of the openings that makes you want to watch the anime. Like, look at this on Reddit. It has 9,159 upvotes. A clip of the opening. Like, this completely went off. Absolutely went off. People went absolutely crazy. See, even other people say attempting to lure people in using the opening. It's so cool. It's so cool. How they managed to, like, use the opening, almost playing in with the theme of the show to seem like it's another one of his strategies. It's just, I found it was so fascinating looking into it that way. But it doesn't stop there. No. AFX is too much of a genius for that. It doesn't stop there. You see, they knew that was popular. So eventually, you have, where is it? Eventually, it's go down quite far now, I think. Where is it? Is it gone? No, there it is. Eventually, and it was only a month ago, we got this video to keep... Oh, hold on, you can't see it because it's... We got this video a month ago to keep interest high as it's starting to decline. We got the Chiki Chiki Bam Bam dance with Aiko's 3D model, and it also came with the motion data to download. So VTubers and anyone else who has the 3D model could actually animate themselves dancing to the opening, which is what I used in the waiting screen here. And that ended up getting other creators to use that as free advertisement for themselves to jump on a trend to, in turn, actually advertise the show even more. So it's kind of brilliant. They actually got their audience to do their advertising for them. In addition, you had VTuber Aiko for a little while. She didn't do any live streams, but you had tons of like absurd shorts. Like, hold on, let me find one. And it's just absolute bullshit, and it was great. Like, you have this. Like, this is the best. I don't know about you. This is the best marketing I've ever seen. Let me turn my audio for a sec so you can hear it. I love it. And it's just brilliant. It's like little stupid things like that are such smart marketing, especially where short videos are really what drive a lot of marketing these days. And they jumped on that. It was like, how many? There's tons. They also made music videos for all their songs, like Crazy on Me has a music video. It is art. It is absolute art. And you have a bunch of the songs re-uploaded. But not only that, I noticed this one recently. I don't know how I missed it. Do any of you guys know the older song Sakuranbo? You have the singer for Aiko doing an in-character song cover of Sakuranbo. And I thought that was really cool. So you have on their official channel, you have Aiko doing song covers of other music as if she's like, you know, a VTuber or another online personality. They brought Aiko to life out of the anime. I would not be surprised if we end up seeing an Aiko legit VTuber. They have a model. I mean, I would literally not doubt suddenly having an Aiko model pop up. One second. Okay, Akka might be good for the normal time, so I might hop over in a minute. Well, let's raid Akka, so don't worry, I won't have to get ready to raid anyone else. But yeah, I just thought the marketing was really, really cool. And there's also, because so many people loved all these stupid shorts and like the dance video and everything, you also got to see, hold on, let me grab one more example real quick of like the stuff where the fans started marketing the show for it. Oh, and Chiki Chiki Bam Bam, you know it's actually a cover of a Hungarian pop song? I thought it was a really cool way to get it internationally involved as well. To get the international crowd a bit more on board with it. Because people who might not always like Japanese music could still be interested in this song. And I thought that was a really cool way for Aiko to go global. And you also have 96 Neko, who was the singer of Aiko, doing a dance as themselves in the avatar they usually use for their VTuber. I thought that was really nice. Hold on. Trying to get a cosplay version to show real quick. You got lots of stuff like this, which was really exciting. Oh, hold on, I gotta get through an advertisement. So you have stuff like this. You have cosplayers recreating the opening, and they're so artistic. People absolutely love this show. Like, people have been going absolutely wild with it. And just the way they've engaged the fandom and everything, it's really become a global sensation. More than any other anime this season. I know Spy Family has a lot going for it as well, but in my opinion, just the fact that this one started small, like Eiko, and built itself up from almost nothing to like this huge success. It's just, I think it's very iconic. It's going to become a historically notable anime in my opinion. And I just find that really, really fascinating. So I wanted to go off a bit on the marketing and stuff because I really think this is going to be one of the works that becomes timeless. It's not really going to disappear at the end of the season. I think it's going to make the manga a lot more popular, and it's just going to keep going from here. Okay. And with that being said, thank you for joining my almost an hour-long screaming about how much I love this show. If you have not watched this show yet, I hope I have inspired you to watch it. With that being said, you know what, hold on, while I get it ready, it should be okay because everyone plays this song in all their videos. With that being said, I'm gonna get ready to raid Aka's waiting room. So, this video is by Alma on YouTube. I can't read the characters, but please go find it by this creator if you want to watch it in all of its glory, because it is beautiful. I hope you enjoyed my screaming. We're going to raid Aka's waiting room for the collab. We're going to be checking out some of the demos and trailers for next fest. I'm going to have to go really quickly grab a snack. I don't have to cook. I have something ready. I just have to grab it. So you might get to chat along with Aka for a few minutes. But I'll be right back. Don't worry. For now, I'm gonna end this so I can go send you guys to Aka. If you want to see the full video, go look it up. Thank you guys for putting up with my screaming. And if you're interested in watching the show, or if you're interested in me doing future anime reviews, I was thinking it could be fun to pick like my favorite show every season and do a review of it or something. Let me know on Discord. I'll see you guys soon. Bye 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 bye. We're just gonna jam while I get the raid ready. Actually, no, we're not. No, we're not. I'm killing that audio because sometimes I have advertisements. Hold on. The schedule upcoming is wrong. It's a lie. Ignore it. I'm live right now. Well, I will be once I raid Aka. It'll take me a while to set up YouTube, but I swear it's happening. I swear it's happening. I'm gonna put my links to my Twitter, my Discord, YouTube, of course, and everything if you want to check them out. But for now, we're gonna raid Aka. I'll be back really shortly. Hello. Here we go. Well, thank you for the link, Aka. And let me set up the YouTube one. Hold on, sorry. It always takes me a while to set up. Okay. Bye-bye. It should redirect you. If not, the link should be on Discord. Bye-bye.